Imagine me wearing a nice, tidy white Nike sneaker, wearing a fancy, nice jeans, and a very thin sweater on a extremely cold December morning in Uttar Pradesh, Kanpur, standing amidst piles and piles of waste flowers, exactly like the ones that you see on the screen. Tiny little rivulets of, colorful water flowing away from these mounds of waste flowers. All sorts of colors, green, yellow, orange. Imagine seeing a lot of women sitting over there in their nice, cute little sweaters and scarves, trying to separate the flowers and the waste that come with flowers. All I could think of standing right in the middle of this huge waste of flowers was this is brilliant. How can we actually enlarge the impact of this? For the uninitiated, let me just quickly tell you what we do at Phool. What we do at Phool is simply we collect flowers which have been offered to the gods in temples. We collect them from the temples in and around cities such as Kanpur, Ayodhya, Varanasi, Bodh Gaya, and now even Badrinath. We collect these flowers, get them to our factory, where we segregate them. We segregate the waste, because with flowers there's also a lot of waste that comes in the form of threads, in the form of idols, in the form of plastic. We separate the waste out. We let the flowers dry. Once these flowers have dried, we actually, separate the bud and the petals. We put them through a machine wherein the petals are converted into powder format. Then that powder format forms as the base dough for what we make, which is incense sticks and incense cones out of temple flowers. These incense sticks are then dipped into essential oils, which give it the fragrance, and that is how a Phool product is born. Now, I can keep speaking about why we did, what we did, so on and so forth. But my larger problem, again, I come back to that first day when I saw these mounds of flowers, was how do we make this big? And to make it big, we really had to sell the product. Because without selling the product, there was no way that this story was going to grow bigger. Now, how to sell the product? That was something which was a burning question for me. And I thought, okay, fine, it's not really that difficult. We should just go to distributors and retailers and tell them, hey, why don't you keep our products and sell them to people, telling them that they've been made from temple flowers? Or we could just simply approach export houses and tell them that we'll make the products for you, you should sell it in Europe, USA, so on and so forth. Or we could tie up with an Amazon or a Flipkart and tell them that you should sell our products for us. But in all of these approaches, you need three things. One, which is capital. Two, you need know-how. Three, you need people. All three of which we had none of. Absolutely none. We were 5 people, 5 to 6 people, around 10, 15 women working with us. No money, no technical know-how, no people. But I was very adamant that, boss, we have to make this work. Some way or the other, this story has to reach the people. And I knew, while we did not have all of these things, we had something. We had a brilliant story, a great product, and what I believe to be one of the world's best packagings ever made. And I said, okay, fine, we have something, right? So now, how can we start selling this product? How can we ensure that people, give our story some time, read about us, and possibly, give us their money just to try the product? Now, one thing is that you can go linear in trying to sell a product. We went exactly opposite. We started by asking this question, who are the people who are not buying incense anymore? Now, anymore is the keyword that I wanted to focus on, because that meant people who had bought the products previously were not buying again. People who probably thought that this product is not something that they want to use. And we started digging our brains, we started asking people around us, we started observing people in our society around us. For example, my mother, since my childhood, very conveniently used to pick up the incenses that my father used to light up, pick it up from the living room and put it in the veranda near the tulsi, saying that, no, we have to put it near the tulsi. The real reason why she did that was she used to actually have a mild migraine. whenever the incense used to be burnt in the house. Now, that was one of the insights that I had, and I started asking a lot of people. So, lots of things that came up, very, very interesting things. First thing, women across all age groups were moving away from buying incense, despite actually having to use them in their temple rooms, etc. To tier 1 and tier 2 urban consumers, people who are actually working in IT industry, in the banking industry, so on and so forth, had moved away from incense as a product and had started using air fresheners, etc. Third, as we like to call them, the millennials or the Gen Zs, they found they were too cool for incenses. They didn't think that, we should be using incenses in our house. The perception of incense was that incense is only used in the temple room of the house and nowhere else. Now, I knew that we had a product which solved all of these problems. We had a product which was made from temple flowers. There was no charcoal which was used in our product. 95% of the incenses in the country use charcoal as a base material, which is the reason why people actually end up having those migraines. Two, we used natural oil and fragrances for the aroma or the fragrance profile of our incenses, right? You go to any market and you'll see random naming fragrances being sold. Anything, you wouldn't even be able to tell what this fragrance is. And that was one of the main reasons why people were not buying incenses. We realized that there has to be strong single fragrances. If you want to experience the fragrance of rose, you should be able to experience the fragrance of rose, jasmine, so on and so forth. We had that. Third, most important thing, we actually had taken the effort of getting our product certified. See, we are not doing mere lip service by saying that our products are natural. We are certified natural. There are audits which happen in our factory which ensure that every element that goes into making of our product, right from the first element till the end product, is certified natural. We are EcoCert certified natural. We are FSL certified. We are PETA approved. And we knew that we had all of this, which is fantastic. Now I knew that I had understood the first people I wanted to go after, and why they would be buying the product. And I started thinking, chalo theek hai, I still had the constraint of capital, technical know-how, and people. What was that place where I could start finding these people? I actually do believe this, that pick the wars that you want to fight. Better yet, don't pick them at all. Now, one should be very smart about where the product is being placed, how it is being positioned, and how you're going to try and sell it. I knew going into distribution, etc., would not work for us. The only platform which was feasible for us was digital media. Facebook, Instagram, Google, so on and so forth, where the people I wanted to reach out to were available. I could reach out to them at a very, very, very low cost. At that point of time, cost per impression was less than 50 paisa, 20 paisa also. But there is a saying, I don't know if it's my saying, but there is a reason why conventional wisdom is considered wisdom. It is wisdom at the end of the day. Now, no fragrance player or incense player in this country, in their right mind, was advertising their products on digital mediums. There's a very clear reason to it. How will you sell an incense product, which is a lot about experience, which is a lot about the fragrance, which is a lot about the touch and feel, on a digital medium where you can't do all of these things? That was the biggest problem why none of them were actually trying to even sell the product. But I saw an opportunity over there and I said, fine, I don't have competition. I wouldn't have to pay a lot of cost in trying to advertise to them. So then we have to figure out a way to solve for this. And the only problem we had to solve was we had to get the people inside through the door. Once they were on our website, we knew people would love to read about our story and they would love to buy our product. But how do you get them inside? The answer to this question lay in my childhood. Whenever I used to go out on a vacation, I used to have that longing for home. I'm sure all of us have that, right? My bed feels the best at home. My living room is very different. My sofa feels different. My TV feels different. For me, it was the sight of a parijat tree in my courtyard and the slight whiff of sweet fragrance that the flowers used to give out. Whenever I used to experience that, I knew I was home. Now, this nostalgia has stayed with me even after 30 years. And I knew that was a very, very good hook. And we tried something, and I'll show that to you. So, a fragrance reminiscent of the flowers in your mother's hair. We've all seen our mothers putting in gajras and jasmine and everything in their hair, or maybe even they may using jasmine oil. The moment you see this, you understand what this particular box of cones or incense cones might smell like. While it is difficult to put a hand on it, while it is difficult to actually, personify it, but you'll know that, oh fine, I used to like that fragrance. Or for people who have grown up in North India, this would be very relatable for you. Standing in front of the cooler just to experience that whiff of, the way we call it, is khas. In English, it's called vetiver. So cooler ke ghas ki khushboo is, the moment I showed you this, you exactly went back 10-15 years. You went in that childhood vacation of yours where you were standing in front of the cooler just for that 2 minutes of freshness. I just wanted to show them that. Or we used to pluck roses from our courtyards, from someone else's house, get them home, put it in a book, and try and preserve it for 2 or 3 years. Now this was a wild bet that we took. Again, I had no idea if it would work or not. The only brief that I gave a very dear friend of mine who was an illustrator, and I said, we just need to replicate that feeling. It bloody worked. It just worked. So what you see over here is April 1, 5, 9, 13. April 11 is when we actually said, you know what, let's put some money on Facebook and see if this works. April 15th is when I actually started calling up the person who used to handle a bank account. Ki, Ridhima, has the money actually come in? Because I'm seeing orders. She's like, yeah, there's money coming in. And from doing 1 or 2 orders organically on the website from friends and family, within a month's time, we went to doing about 400 orders a day. So you can see this graph. I've done nothing. I've just taken a screenshot of my dashboard. It just worked. For the first 5-7 days, everyone was just checking the bank account. Ki, boss, is there a scam? Are we actually getting this money? As much sustainability and innovation we talk about, sticking around. For me, sustainability also means sticking around and doing things for the long term. Stick around in whatever you're doing. Be true to the mission. Change will come. So thank you. That's my time here.